few more miracles. He called him Theodosius. In the town of Vasiliev, near Kiev, there were some pious people who were living there. They were Christians and the parents of Saint Theodosius. As soon as Theodosius was born, his parents brought him to the priest after 8 days so that he can give him his name. The priest, as soon as he laid eyes on him, he said that he foresaid that with the eyes of his soul that even though that he was very little, he would be devoted to God, and so he called him Theodosius. Theodosius means the person who is given to God. After 40 days, the child was baptized. The little one grew up under the love of his parents, and by the grace of the Lord, he became better and better every day. Not long after that, his parents decided to move away to another town called Kursk. That was God's economy because there it was Saint Theodosius' destiny to enlighten with his beautiful life all the other peoples over there and give them strength and a lot of miracles. In that city, he grew up physically and spiritually, and his spiritual powers became better and better every day. He grew up in wisdom and the love of God. He was also pleading his parents to leave him study the Holy Scriptures. They allowed him to do so. So very soon he became knowledgeable of all the Holy Scriptures, and everybody was surprised by his wisdom, his knowledge, and his understanding of the Holy Scriptures, and also the speediness of his learning. Prayers, kneeling on the ground, and tears. At night, Saint Theodosius of Kiev was always praying with a lot of kneeling down and tears. He paid gratitude and glorified the Lord for all the good things that he gave him. A lot of times they were understanding. The good brothers understood that he was praying, and all those people understood that he was communicating with God. Before the bells ring for the brothers to get up, the ecclesiastical monk, the monk who was in charge of the temple, was slowly moving towards the cell of the saint so that he can get blessing. As he was coming near, he listened to him praying very fearfully, very intensely, crying and being on the ground, kneeling, and he was holding his hand. He was hitting his hands. He was hitting his head on the ground. So for a while he was afraid, and he went a little further away and start walking again more powerfully so that the saint could hear him. So when the saint saw him coming, understood that he was coming, he stopped praying and pretended to be asleep. He hit the door, and the person who was in charge of the church, saying, "Bless me, dear Father." He didn't answer. When the knocking was heard for the third time, then he pretended, the saint pretended that he was just waking up, and he was answering, "The Lord Jesus Christ may be with you, my child." Then he was the first to go into the church, and that was what he do all night long. Now, let's read about how the Saint Theodosius of Kiev was very harsh to himself. He was making everybody be surprised, he and the other brothers, with his fasting, his very, very bravery, and his working overtime. He was humiliated and humble towards others. He was patient towards others, and he was willing to help everybody. He was carrying water or wood from the forest. Sometimes, while the brothers were sleeping, he gathered the seed, and that what all the brothers had to do by themselves, and he was grounding it by himself, all by himself. He was working and praying all night long. Some nights there were a lot of mosquitoes in the area, and so that he could uh, practice himself, he was going out at night out of the cave. He let his body naked from the middle and above, and he let himself be stung by the mosquitoes, while with his hands he was making baskets, and his lips were always saying hymns, and praying for the Lord to the Lord. Even though his body was full of stunk and he was full of blood, he remained still in his position all night long till the early hours of the morning. Then he went to the Holy Temple for the Divine Liturgy, and during the whole liturgy, he wasn't moving at all from his position, not even taking his mind out of the prayers. So everybody loved him. Everybody loved him, and the brothers had him as a father and admired him very, very much for his own humiliation and his own um, humiliation and obedience to the others. This is coming from the fraternal book of the saints of the graves of Kiev, all the saints of Kiev. Now, we continue about the life of Saint Theodosius of Kiev. In the next miracle, we will see how humiliated, how deeply humble and very simple person was Saint Theodosius of Kiev. Someday, Saint Theodosius visited the pious first monk of Isislavo, who stayed away from the town of Kiev. In the visit was made longer until night. In his coming back, the in his coming back, the Holy Father of Theodosius of Kiev, the the person who was holding um, the person who was taking him to his place, the Holy Father gave him a big um, a big car, so that a car was driven by horse driven, and he made him it made it so comfortable, and that would help him during the nightly voyage. In the streets, little Theodosius, who was in the streets, the little one who was driving the car, saw that Theodosius, with those poor clothes that he was wearing, and but he couldn't understand. He couldn't even imagine that he was a leading monk, and tell him very abruptly, "Hey, black one," because he was wearing black. "Hey, black one, you will be sitting here all day long and be jealous and be lazy. I always work and I want to sleep in the carriage. Then, because you are uh, very uh, untired, you haven't tired yourself. Come and sit on the horse so that you can drive the carriage, and I would go to bed." The ocean, the saint was very pleased of what he heard, and he saw that he had humiliation to do that, and he got up very gladly and sat on the horse, praying the Lord, and with a lot of joy he helped the little one get up and lie on in the carriage. After the early in the morning, he was seeing in the street the people who were wearing uniforms, who were leading themselves towards the Holy Father. He from far away saw them, and uh, he saw them, and they saw him. They knew the Saint Theodosius, and as soon as they became closer, they got off their horses so that they can bow to him. So the saint told the little one, "Here you are, child. Uh, it uh, it is day now. Come and sit in the horse yourself." The little one was seeing everybody meeting themselves and bowing to the saint. He was petrified of fear and sat on the horse trembling. He, the little one was afraid seeing all those people meeting and bowing before the saint, and he was petrified by the fear and sat on the horse trembling. Moving along, they met more and more people who were very rich, who were and bowing in front of the saint. And the fear of the little boy was getting bigger and bigger. When they reached the monastery and got off the horses, all the monks started bowing in front of the saint, and that thing made the little one more and more fearful about what he had seen. And they made him thinking, who's that person who everybody is bowing in front of him? The saint took him by the hand and led him to the big table. There he ordered to be given something to eat, and after that he offered them some money and let him return to his village. All that became known by the little one, by the little one himself, uh, because he was saying all that to his brothers monks, because the saint never said anything to anybody. That is from the Archbishop Timotheus, the Saint Theodosius of Kiev, pages 56, 55, and 56.